Welcome everyone to the Rizzo Show Summer Barbecue Extravaganza. I got my partner from ESPN Cleveland, Casey Coulis, with me. Case, what are we cooking this summer?
Riz, today we're gonna smoke some ribs and we're gonna smoke some brisket.
Ribs and brisket, but before we get cooking, we gotta go shopping, and it all starts here at the Heat Exchange Hearth and Patio Shop. Let's go. All right, first things first. By the way, Heat Exchange has everything you need to smoke up some great meat. Casey, we're going to start with our wood. We've got to select wood. Now, you like a flavored wood and a sweet wood. What are we going to go with?
Yeah, I like the fruit woods, and today we're going to go with some apple wood. It goes great with pork and it goes great with beef, so it'll cook evenly, throughout the whole process.
Okay, so we're going to grab some apple wood here. You could also go what, Case? They've got maple, they've got mesquite.
You got hickory, you got cherry, and they've got a great selection here at Heat Exchange. So, like I said, I think apple wood's the way to go with this one.
And apple's going to give it a little sweetness to it, right?
Yep.
Especially with pork, right? Pork and apple go well
and this
together.
is the way to get the flavor in. You pick a good fruit wood, and it'll just inject a whole nother level of flavor.
Okay, we've got our wood. We're going apple. All right, Casey has his smoker at home, but if you're looking for a good smoker, folks, and they're different than grills, Dan's going to fill us in here from Heat Exchange. Danny, thanks, buddy.
My
Great
pleasure,
to
Tony.
see you. Explain to everybody the difference between a smoker and a grill.
Well, a grill, you're cooking direct heat underneath the food. Smoking is all about indirect. So in a Goodwin smoker like we're showing here, we have the burn box down below, smoking area up above. So heat is coming up through here and circulating around the food. So you're no direct heat whatsoever.
There's also different kinds of smokers, and I know that a lot of people are familiar with what they call the green egg. You have those here as well, right?
Correct. The Big Green Egg is a combination grill, smoker, roaster. You can do direct heat for burgers, steaks, dogs, whatever you're talking about that you like to grill.
Right.
You want to do pork butt, ribs, stuff like that. You use a plate setter, you do low and slow indirect heat. You can get this thing up to 750 degrees, no problem whatsoever to grill, but you can also hold the thing at 225 for hours on end.
By the way, Michael Simon loves this thing. He highly recommends the Big Green Egg. The Big Green Egg, I'll bet you sell a lot.
We do. Yeah. We sell a lot of them.
All right, Case, time for sauce. I love the Three Little Pigs sauce, award-winning championship barbecue sauce, but there are different kinds. Explain.
Well, they have the competition sauce. They have a championship spicy chipotle sauce, which my wife loves. It's got a bit of a kick to it. It's a hotter one. And they have the sweet and tangy sauces right here. So it kind of just goes along with what your taste preferences are. For us, I'm going to go with the Kansas City competition. It goes, again, great with beef and pork. Doesn't, work better with one than the other.
Okay,
So.
how about we mix in a little sweet as well? Can we do that?
That's all for you then.
Yeah, we'll do that. I'll tell you what, we'll mix in the sweet and the championship, all right? We also had to go with some lump charcoal.
Yes.
And as Dan from the Heat Exchange told us earlier, it's garbage in, garbage out. You've got to use quality stuff. These are all quality products. Chris Marks is one of the best in the business, internationally known, and so is the lump charcoal and the wood you're gonna get here at the Heat Exchange. All right, next up, it is time to go to Acme to get our meat.
Oh, yeah.
You ready?
I'm ready, brother.
Let's go. All right, Case, we are here at the Mecca of grocery stores in Northeast Ohio, Acme Fresh Markets. We are at the Montrose store, and partner, it is time to get our food. But we're gonna stop before we head over to the meat department. We're gonna stop and pick up some sides. What do you think?
I love it. Let's do it.
All right. I think we gotta go corn.
Oh, yeah.
And look at this.
Summer barbecue season, you got to get the sweet corn.
That's right, 5 ears for $2. That will make you holla. Let's check it out. All right, now, Case, are you the guy that pulls back to check the corn?
I am. You just want to make sure the inside looks okay.
Ooh, it's the yellow and the white, which I absolutely love.
There's one for you there.
Get about 5 ears. What do you say,
Sounds
partner?
good to me.
Now, we're
Looks
going to
good.
grill the corn, right?
No, sir. Absolutely
Oh,
not.
that's right. Folks, I got to tell you this. Casey is the guy who taught me how to cook sweet corn. Your family, right?
Yes, it's the coolest family secret. 2 minutes. Boil your water, 2 minutes in the water, and get it right out. It's the best corn you'll ever have.
We will show you when we get home. Giant bakers or the regulars? You want the giant bake. All right, we'll get the giant ones. Look at that. Woo, now that's a tater. It's About 4 pounds right there. All right, enough fooling around with the sides. Folks, it is time to head to the meat section. And I've got the meat manager waiting for us. Yes, hi, James.
Hi, how's it going, Tony?
How are you, buddy? Good to see you.
Yes, you too.
We're doing our summer barbecue spectacular show.
Okay.
You know there's no place else I'd be to get my meat.
Right.
Gonna need a couple of briskets. 5-pounders, what do you got?
Sure, I've got some for you here, okay? You want those trimmed up at all? You want them 5 pounds?
I want a little marbling on there.
Sure.
So
okay,
leave
definitely.
a little of the fat. Sorry, folks.
Definitely.
Fat tastes good. You know
Yes,
how I am with
yes.
that. So leave a little marbling on there for me.
Sounds good.
Folks, don't mess with James. Look at the knife he's got.
I'll use it on the meat.
Another great thing about Acme, they have the all-natural farmland pork products. James, what we're looking for is a couple of great slabs of baby backs. What do we got?
Okay. Well, we've got a large selection here of them. What you're looking for, you want the marbling. Of course, they all seem to have good marbling in them. But that's what you're looking for. And then I like to feel the thickness of the smaller end of it. There's more meat on that bone right there.
Okay.
And I think that one's a nice looking one.
These are all extra meaty.
Extra meaty. Yep,
Gotta
they're
love it. All right,
extra meaty.
let's go with 3 slabs at least.
3 slabs, okay.
All right, James, I appreciate it, man,
Okay,
very
thank you,
much.
Tony.
Folks, here at Acme, you get service like this whether you're on TV or not. Well, Case, you know what time it is now. Time to head back to the ranch and get this meat on the grill. All right, folks, now we are here live at Cooking Central. I will be supervising today for the Barbecue Spectacular. Our own Casey Coulis is the head chef. Case, we're gonna fire up the grill first. This is a smoker now, so you gotta explain the process for everybody.
Right, so it's not like a traditional grill where you just use charcoal briquettes and light them, or a propane grill where you just turn on the gas and you just let it go. You've got to get your charcoal and your wood going and heat the chamber first, and then you can throw the meat on. So what we're gonna do right now, we're gonna take some of our good one, lump charcoal. We picked this up over at the heat exchange earlier.
Best stuff on earth.
Now you wanna use lump charcoal because it burns hotter and it'll burn faster, so you get more heat out of it. Where charcoal briquettes burn more even, but the problem with briquettes is you don't know what's in there. This is 100% wood, so you know you're getting a clean burn, which is a big deal when you're smoking meat.
Okay, and how much, Case? We're just gonna fill up the chamber?
We're just gonna fill up our, you're gonna let some of that fall right off. This is called a chimney. This is what you want to use to start your charcoal. Even if you're using briquettes, you want to use one of these. So you fill it up, and then we're gonna grab one of barbecue's best friends, our little wax square, to help start this fire.
Right, and this is, rather than just lighting it, you're gonna put this in and it'll help get everything going quicker.
Exactly, so I'm gonna put one of these guys underneath. There's that, and Riz, if you can hand me my lighter right over there.
We'll do that.
So we'll take this guy,
Very nice.
and we're just gonna light this, and it just catches like that. It's already lit. We're just gonna set the chimney right on top, and we're gonna let that go for probably 15, 20 minutes till the whole thing is lit and burnt and kind of like a coal ash color. You want it to get to a white color. Once you get to that, you'll know, and you can just dump it right into the chamber.
Right, like you do when you cook without gas. You know, when you're making ready, your charcoal's got to be gray, white.
Exactly.
Right, but it's going to work a lot quicker here.
Right, and plus using the lump, it will burn faster, so it cuts the cooking time or the heating time down.
Okay. So next up, we're going to do the wood, right?
Once we get this going, we'll add the wood. You don't want to add the wood too early because you don't want to waste that smoke flavor. Whatever flavor you choose, you don't want to waste it. So we'll let this go first. We're going to start prepping our brisket because that's going to be the first meat to go on.
And in the meantime, you can enjoy your favorite adult beverage and maybe a good cigar. I mean, after all, folks, make this fun. Welcome back, everybody. The Barbecue Spectacular is underway. We've got the kids in the background, the dog is out, and we are going to prep our meat. Case, what are we going to start with first?
Right now, we're going to start with brisket. We've got our fire started, so the brisket's going to take a little longer to cook. So we want to get this on first, and then we'll worry about the ribs.
Okay.
So we've got our brisket here. It's about a 5-pounder we picked up from Acme. Okay, and when you go there, you can ask them to trim the fat or however you want to get it cut. So we had them take a little bit of the fat off, but not too much, because that's your flavor.
Tasty.
Oh, that's the good stuff. So We're gonna throw our brisket down, Riz, if you wanna grab that championship rub right there that we picked up from Heat Exchange.
Oh yeah, that's good stuff. Now, Case, I gotta admit too, I really enjoyed this year's Barbecue Spectacular because I'm just pretty much supervising here.
Right.
There we go.
Before we add that, now that's good stuff right there. Before we add that on, we're gonna add some mustard.
Right,
So
yellow
my hands,
mustard. Now this is Chris Mark's recipe.
correct, yeah, I've taken some classes from him, and he suggests using the mustard. It helps hold the seasoning on, and it'll create a nice thick bark, which is what you want when you're doing brisket.
Right.
It'll also add a little bit of flavor and kind of help break down the meat a little bit. So if you want to grab that mustard, because I've got brisket germs on me, go ahead and cover that up really good.
By the
There
way,
you
this
go.
is about the extent. This is all I'm pretty much doing here, other than eating a little bit later on. Good enough?
That looks great. So you're gonna take that, you're gonna rub down the meat. You wanna get this mustard all on the sides, get all the cracks, because this is, like I said, what's gonna hold the rub onto the meat.
Act like an insulator.
There, we're
we
gonna
go.
flip that guy over. Go ahead and give us some more.
Oh yeah. Folks, this is prime time smoking barbecue. A lot of you would have to pay a lot of money to get this recipe, but you're getting it free on the Rizzo Show today.
And it's a great recipe. I've been using it for about 1.5 years, 2 years now. And I've bounced around a lot of recipes, but this is the one I've stuck with. It's worked really well for me.
Here's another thing you don't want to do. You don't want to wear white when you're barbecuing like this, because you know this is going to get dirty eventually.
All right, so we've got our mustard on there.
There we go.
Go ahead and hit that with the rub.
All right, folks, be generous with the rub, okay?
Please.
Yeah, please be generous. Look at that. Oh, Case, that looks so pretty.
Go ahead.
Need a little more.
You
Yep.
gotta cover that up.
You want to cover it up, and again, a lot of this is going to cook off, but what it is going to create is the bark, which is what you're looking for. The hard crust outside.
There's a lot of flavor in that bark. That's what a lot of barbecue people are looking for.
Notice how Casey, too, is patting more than rubbing in here to keep a lot of the seasoning on the meat.
Just kind of mash that in there really good.
Oh, Case, this looks so good right now. Oh, yeah, delicious. You're doing a good job.
You're not too bad yourself, sir. All right, so now we've got our brisket, and that's about it for the brisket. You're just gonna throw this into the smoker once you're done.
All right, Casey, now we've got our lump right where we want it. A
Yep.
nice white. It only took about 10, 15 minutes.
Yep.
What's our next step?
Next step is we're gonna throw on some wood here. Now we've got our apple wood that we picked up from Heat Exchange.
Oh, yeah. Good stuff.
Now the secret is you don't wanna over smoke your food.
Right.
So you only need about 1 or 2 lumps. My biggest issue when I first started was I would just over smoke everything, and it kills your product. It
Right.
kills your brisket, it'll kill your pork shoulder, your ribs, whatever you're doing. 1 or 2 is more than enough for a whole session. You can make a whole bag last the whole season. So we're just gonna throw
Right on top.
right on top,
There we go.
and then we're just gonna
Shoving it in.
close our chamber right there.
Now we're smoking
So
into the chamber.
on my smoker, I have an indirect, a side box, I should say. Oxygen is what controls the fire, controls flare-ups, controls your temperature. So I've been using this smoker long enough to know that's about where I need to be to control.
Just a little bit of an opening there.
And if you bring that over here, you can see the wood starting to catch right now, and you're starting to get a little bit of smoke. It does not take long.
And you can already smell that apple. It smells
Oh,
good.
it smells outstanding.
Okay, when will you close it up?
Right now.
Right now.
So we're gonna close
it
that up because we don't want that smoke escaping.
And you've got a little pan of water down there.
Right, and you know, this is something that it works for me. It's not something you have to do. It helps kind of
Moisture.
exactly.
Right.
Just steams up a little bit. And
Little
for me, that's
moisture
when
in there.
look at that smoke. You can see it coming right out.
In case, what is our temperature about? I notice you've got your thermometer right there. What temperature are we
This is
gonna be
one of your
smoking
best friends right here. I'm gonna smoke between 225 and 275. A lot of barbecue guys will tell you 250s tops. For me, I like to run a little hot sometimes. So between 225 and 275 works.
Okay,
So
next step.
Next step, we are gonna throw our brisket
on the grill. And remember, how many hours are we gonna go brisket?
Brisket, we're gonna go a 5-pounder, we're gonna go about 6 hours. You wanna go about an hour, hour and a half per pound.
Right, that's what most recipes call for. Here we go, and you just laying it flat.
Just gonna lay it flat right up here by the heat source because it's gonna take so long to cook.
Yep, close it up. And remember, if you're looking, you ain't cooking. All right, our brisket's gonna go about 2 hours longer than the ribs, so we're gonna prep these ribs now, Casey. We're gonna go back to the championship rub, You've got them from Acme. They're the extra meaty, and these are baby backs.
These are the baby backs. I love cooking baby back ribs.
All right, here we go. My big job here.
And you're gonna do the same thing that you did with the brisket. Just, you know, be generous with the rub. You don't have to skimp on it.
Sure, a lot of it'll cook off too, remember that. This is what's giving your meat flavor, and Case explained, it's tenderizing as well.
It tenderizes, gives it flavor, and it adds that bark. Again, bark is a good thing on barbecue.
All right, Case, let's throw those ribs on. You're gonna put them right next to the biscuit. Oh, smell that smoke.
Oh.
Your neighbors gotta love that, Casey.
They
huh?
do. They do. The whole neighborhood can smell it.
Do they come over for taste testing? I'm sure they do.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I'll bet.
Absolutely.
All right, let's throw them on, partner.
So we've had the brisket going for about 2 hours because the brisket's just a bigger cut of meat. It's just going to take longer to cook. So now we're going to add the ribs. Now ribs will take about 3.5, 4 hours to smoke. So about the two, if you want to eat at 6 o'clock, you'll throw the brisket on at noon. Throw these on about 2 o'clock. You know, right. Just do the math, and that way everything will be done at about the same time. So there you go. We've got our 2 slabs of baby backs on there, right next to the brisket. I'm just going to close this guy up, and we're just going to let it sit there. Now, the one thing you want to do is you don't want to touch the meat. You said it earlier. If you're looking,
you're not cooking.
Exactly. So you're just close the lid, and you're just going to monitor the temperature. Every good smoker will have a thermometer on the outside. If not, you can buy an electric one where you can run the wire in, and it'll give you a temperature of inside the chamber, which is key. So mine has one built in. It'll be about 250, 275, and you just want to come back and monitor it. As long as the temperature is okay, no need to open it. You don't want to move the brisket, you don't want to move the ribs, just leave them as they are.
All right, and through the magic of television, folks, when we come back, it's the money shot time. Time to eat Casey's Barbecue smoked brisket and ribs. Don't go anywhere, stay with us.
The best part about this grill is that you've got your charcoal and smoking side, and I've got a propane side. So if I feel like just throwing something on the grill and not worrying about dealing with wood, I've got that, and I can also cook my corn out here too. I told you guys earlier, best corn recipe in the world, coolest family secret, 2 minutes in boiling water. I got my water boiling right now. I'm just gonna take my corn, I'm just gonna drop this in. Take our timer, set it for 2 minutes, and not a second more. Perfect corn.
You're doing a good job, Case. Keep it up. Almost there, baby. Nice work. Well, folks, the time is finally here. We are ready to eat. We've got the lovely Juliana and Bailey. We've got, whoa, we got Rocco the dog with us. There we go. Good job, Rod. He wants to eat. The lovely Denise, Casey's wife, and of course, the official taste tester of the ribs on the Barbecue Spectacular, Uncle Frank. Case, let's carve it up and go. Now, people might look at this and say, wow, that looks burnt, but that's the bark.
That's the bark, that's the flavor. And one thing you want to do when you start carving up brisket, you want to cut against the grain. You can see the texture, the muscles running this way. So when you cut your brisket, you want to cut this way. Okay. So we'll give Riz a cut right here.
And if you want, you can add a little sauce to your brisket. I prefer the ribs without the sauce, the dry rub.
I'm a big fan of not saucing because people like different sauces. I'll let the rub stand on its own, and if people want to add sauce, that's on them.
Oh.
I have another piece, Riz.
That is to die for. Look at,
I was just going to say,
look at the smoke, the layer of smoke.
That pink, that doesn't mean it's not done. That's your smoke ring right in here. That's where all the flavor is.
Right. Listen, this is very time consuming. I'm telling you, when you taste the food, you will realize how worth it really is. Smoked ribs, smoked brisket, summer barbecue, the Rizzo Show Barbecue Spectacular. How about a round of applause for the chef, Casey, right now? Great job, Case. Thanks for joining us, folks. We'll see you again next year on the Rizzo Show Barbecue Spectacular. Let's dig in. Ooh, look at that.
Here, I have another bone.
Oh my God, look at. What are we doing?
Flavor.
Oh, you can taste that apple too.
Notice Riz when he's eating his ribs, you hear a lot of people talk about fall off the bone. You don't want that in barbecue. You want to be able to take a bite of that meat and have a tooth imprint. You want it to hold together. You don't want it falling all over the place. That's the sign of a good rib.